What's cracking?
Hi guys, what's up?
How you doing, Emily?
I'm doing great. How are
Good
you?
to see you. Really good, really good. Here, happy to be back in Phoenix, Arizona. Just came home from Chi-Town, Chicagoland. Was amazing. For those of you that are wholesalers or in the REI space in Chicago, lots happening out there. Lots going on. Lots of people doing good stuff. The community is popping. People are working hard, squatting up, doing all the cool things, making the monies. It was great. It was great to connect with our community out there, Astro and Sub2. And Pace and I took our families. We ate some delicious food, and nothing could have been better. We got to connect with friends. We got to connect with community. We got to eat good food. And now we're back, ready to hit the ground running and comp some houses.
That was so awesome. How was that meetup?
Incredible. It was incredible. Good to see so many faces that I'd only seen on a screen. It's like, it's nice. It's nice to, it's what's really beautiful is when you get to be around the community members that normally wouldn't like hang out with each other, even though they live in the city together. But when we come there and we get to like hang out like that, what ends up happening is people start to like, oh, you're cool. Let's hang out. Let's do work. And so these like little units start to form. And Pace and I noticed that when we were traveling the country, years ago, we would leave a city and then we'd find out 6 months later that these people, they formed businesses together and now they're making $1 million together. It's like, you get to see that impact and you get to see the relationships that get built from just coming to a town and putting together a little pop-up event like that. And I think that that's really special. And so it was nice. It was really nice to just hang out and be a part of that energy.
That's so cool. I feel like you guys are just changing the game of collaboration versus competition. And I just think that that's just going to keep just growing, and it's just amazing. Sorry, I have my kiddo in the bath behind us, so if you hear some sound effects,
it's bath time. It's okay. You got a kid in the bathtub. I got a dog here who's like snoring like she's chopping wood. So guys, if you hear strange noises in the background, that's just what's happening. We're family people. We got things. We got pets. We got kids. We got spouses. All kinds of fun stuff going on. But why are we here today? Because we are here to comp some houses. Comping is the number one reason why people fail in this business, because they don't get it right. They go up and they talk to sellers and they lock stuff up at a crazy price, and then they can't sell it. And then guess what happens? They get frustrated. And then guess what happens after that? They quit. And that's sad. That hurts my feelings to see you do all that work only to find out that you locked something up too high. So that's why Emily and I do this show every week, and so that you don't do that to yourself, so that you actually know what stuff is worth, so that you can figure out what to offer and actually make this into a business. Emily, if you could bring up the appraisal rules. There we go, guys. These are the rules that I use when I'm comping houses. Why? Because when I sell to a person who's going to fix and flip a property, they are ultimately going to fix the house and sell it on the retail market. And when they sell it on the retail market, their buyer is going to get a loan, and that loan is going to be subject to these appraisal rules, which is why it's important that you understand these appraisal rules, because it'll help you determine what the potential in a property exists. So when we're comparing two houses, we have to make sure that we're staying within the same subdivision. So how do you know if you've left the subdivision? Don't cross the road. Don't cross any major roads. You can cross tiny little roads, but no busy roads. If there's a traffic sign or a big, thick yellow sign, big, thick yellow road, don't cross that. That means that you won't have left the subdivision. Also, when I'm comparing two properties, I only want to compare two properties that are of the same property type. So if I have a single story, I only compare that to single stories. If I have a two-story, I compare that to two stories only. You get what I'm saying there. In addition to that, I like to only compare houses that are within 5 or 10 years of construction. I want to update this document to say 5 to 10 years of construction or build generation. Okay, so what do I mean by build generation? Well, in the late 1800s, like 1890, all the way up to like 1920, That was one build generation. They didn't really increase their technology and how they were building houses between 1890 and 1920. And so that was one build generation. So that's more than 5 or 10 years, but it's within one build generation. So the reason why we want to stay within a build generation is because technology would have changed after the build generation, right? For instance, in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, we were building houses so fast in America because of the housing boom that houses were built with pretty poor quality. And so when you compare a house that was built in the early to mid 2000s versus a house that was built from, say, 2010 to 2015, there's going to be significant technological differences in those houses. So you need to compare within build generations. I hope that's starting to click in your guys' heads. And then again, guys, when you are comparing two houses, it is better to time travel. So it's better to use an older comp than it is to leave a subdivision, because appraisers aren't going to cross all kinds of roads and go and find a comp 1.5 miles out to try to justify a value that you're trying to say your property is worth when they can find the exact comp 2 doors down, but it just closed in 2020. They'd way rather time travel than cross the road. So remember that. Why did the appraiser cross the road? No, the appraiser didn't cross the road, okay? He won't cross the road. He's lazy. He'd rather be in the DeLorean and travel in time. Then again, guys, remember, when you are comparing houses, they're not always going to be the same. You will only ever compare houses that'll have small differences to each other, right? So if your subject house is a 3-bed, 2-bath, and your comp is a 4-bed, 2-bath, how do you adjust for that? Well, these are the adjustments. If you have plus or minus a bedroom, it is $10,000 to $25,000. A bathroom, $10,000. A pool is worth $10,000. A garage is also worth $10,000. And a carport worth $5,000. Okay, guys? So make sure you keep these things in mind. And also, if you're comparing two houses, they have to be within around 2,500 square foot in lot size. Otherwise, you get into a completely different product type. And then last but not least, guys, adjustments for traffic and commercial. If you are siding, fronting, or backing traffic for any price point under 350 grand, you're going to take off anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000. But once you hit the luxury mark of 500,000 or over, it is 10 to 20%. So being on a major road, siding or backing multifamily traffic or commercial is a big kick in the knees to the luxury space. And lastly, basement and additional dwelling unit like guest house square footage is typically only given 50% of value when you are applying it to your houses. Now, enough of the theory. Let's get to the practical camping.
All righty. We have some questions over here. Do you want to answer a few or jump into?
Sure. Let's answer some questions.
All right. Justin asked, what adjustments for comp years?
I think I need more English than that.
Okay.
Justin, can you just be a little more descriptive and tell me what you mean?
Mark asked, are these numbers a good reference for Hawaii?
Yeah, the numbers I would use, Mark, in Hawaii would be over 500K because everything is really expensive over there, over 500. So yes, these will still apply, but you would not be looking in the 350 price point. You'd be looking at 500K or over. So your adjustments would be in the percentages, not in the thousands. Hope that makes sense.
Difference between comping by price per square foot versus the way you do it with those 5 points you went over.
Great question, Keyshawn. So the reason why I actually do comp using price per square foot, but only when my subject and my comp are within 200 to 250 square feet of each other. Once my two properties are too far apart in size, the dollar per square foot won't work anymore. So I can't go pick a comp that's like 1,200 square foot and apply it to my 1,800 square foot house, because the dollar per square foot on a 1,200 square foot house is always going to be higher than the dollar per square foot on an 1,800 square foot house. So I have to find a comp that's closer to 1,800 square feet instead of working with the one that's 1,200 square feet.
Oh, Justin gave us more English. If a comp was sold in 2019, what adjustments would you make for the 3-year gap?
I would say I would try to find how much the market appreciated in those years, Justin. That's what the adjustment I would make. If I could only find a comp where I had to travel back in time and I couldn't find one within my subdivision, I would just look, what did the metro area appreciate in the last 3 years? Then I would apply that to my number and that would give me my adjustment.
Awesome.
Is there a video that basically describes what siding, backing, and fronting is? Ooh, I love it. Why don't I just show you? Why don't we just make the video?
Yeah, we'll just do it right here. I think Jamil just went in his browser and left the stream service. Let me call him real quick. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we got him back, guys.
Dang. Dang. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
We lost a whole bunch of people. No, they're back now. Okay.
No, we're still here. We're waiting for you.
Okay, cool. So, siding, backing, fronting traffic. Did you see any of that?
No, because you went in your StreamYard tab and typed in Zillow, so you left us.
Got it.
But we see you now.
Okay, here's one. If you look, this house right here is backing traffic. Or sorry, backing commercial. See this? Front of the house is here. This house is backing commercial. See this house right over here? It's siding and backing commercial. Siding and backing. Can you see that, Emily?
Yep, we see it.
And then right over here, guys, 44th Street is a busy street. So all of these houses right here, they're all fronting traffic because the front of their houses are on 44th Street. That's what I mean by siding, backing, and fronting traffic.
That's awesome. Crystal clear. I say we can get into some comps.
Let's do it.
Awesome. We are
Guys,
going to
do us a favor before we do that and smash the like button, please. So YouTube knows that we don't suck and people get value from this. And then also, if you feel inclined, snap a little picture of you participating with us on Straight Outta Compin and then tag me on Instagram and I'll reshare it. This is a great spot to network with people, guys. So squat up in the comments, talk to people, let people know that you're here, Comping Properties. This is a great place to network, do JV deals, micro flip, all the fun things. Help out hack wholesalers sell their properties, all the fun stuff, all the fun stuff. What's up, Johnny Gonzalez? What's going on, dog? Joe asked, would I consider siding a church as a negative as well? God forgive me for this, but yes. Yes, not because siding churches are bad, but because there's going to be a ton of traffic on Sundays.
Yeah.
Right? And people, privacy, houses, you know, they just want privacy. So yes, siding a church would be considered commercial, even though it's like commercial for your soul. You know what I'm saying? It's different than like a church's chicken. But yes, it's still a negative. What's going on, Paula? All right, let's come some houses.
All righty. We will get into it. We're going to start in Florida.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are.
Address is 3503 Avenue U, Northwest, and that's in Winter Haven.
Two bed, one bath, 779 square footer in Winter Haven, Florida. The Zillow estimate is 154. Looking at the quick comps, number 1, 4, and 3 look viable because they're on the right side of the freeway. Number 1 sold for 145. It looks like a remodel. Number 4 sold for 140. Number 5 sold for 152. All within the 200 square foot mark. See how I think Zillow eavesdrops and figured out what I'm saying with respect to my appraisal rules. Because see how they're only using 200 square feet, plus or minus 200 square feet? Where do you think they came up with that? No, I'm kidding. It's not because of me.
I was late on that one. I was reading some comments.
Emily's just lost. She's just over here lost, guys.
Yeah. Nothing new.
Okay, let's see. Let's look at the map. So here's our subject. 154 is their estimate. 780 square footer. $190 was near double the size. So we know we're way short of that. Here's a 116 from 2020. I can't make sense of why this sold for 290, so I'm gonna exclude it because there's no reason why it should have sold that high. No, based on what we've got nearby, Emily, I feel like for its size, we're at about 125.
Okay.
So under what Zillow thought the value would be. I'm going to continue to look. Ooh, there's a 122 here. That's from 2020. So maybe a little higher. Ooh, there we go. Perfect. 32880 July 2021, and it appears to be fixed up as well. So we'll call it a 140 house. 140.
Hickball Clark asked, I know this is a comping show, but does your team use the standard realtor context when making offers?
I'm going to pull that to 145. Sorry. Let's go back to the question here. Hold on. I'm going to stop the share. Okay. Like getting lost here. What do you say? I know it's a Compin show, but does your team use the standard realtor? I think he meant contract when making offers. Iqbal, yes, we do. We will use the realtor contract because all of my reps are licensed agents. Even though they don't need to be, I believe that getting your real estate license is a plus. I think it's important if you want to be credible, if you want to be ahead of the times, because you know regulation's coming. They're going to require you to have a real estate license sooner or later, wherever you are in the United States. So why wait? If you're going to do this full time and this is what you want to do with your life, go get it. Go get your license. It's worth your time. It only takes 2 weeks.
Have a fun multifamily one here.
Cool. Oh, great. And we've got the rents. Amazing. Okay, good afternoon, guys. I have 2 multifamilies next door to each other, 236 Carroll Street and 238 Carroll Street, being sold as a package deal. Rents are total $70K for both buildings. Steve, is that $70K per year? Is that $70K per month? I need to know that. When is this? What's the $70K for? Is it annual? Glenn Bennett, look at what Glenn Bennett said. Thanks, Jamil. I made $37,000 on this show. What? There you go, Glenn.
That is so awesome.
Pretty dope. Congrats. I'm ringing the proverbial bell for you.
Yeah.
Ling, 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 ling.
Oh, here's a good question from Liz.
How much of an adjustment for the difference between a detached 2-car garage and the potential deal property and a closed comp with an attached single-car garage? Okay, so her subject property has a detached 2-car garage and her closed comp has an attached single-car garage. Well, Liz, typically a single-car garage is worth about $5,000 and a 2-car garage is worth about 10. So I would say that you would increase your value for your subject by $5,000 over the closed comp because you've got the 2-car garage versus the single-car garage. Being attached or detached doesn't have an appraisal valuation to it. Personally, I think if you're in colder climates, it's better to have your garage attached than it is to have it detached because you're still walking your cold ass outside to get into your house. But there is no value that an appraiser is given for the garage being attached to the house versus having to walk a few steps. So that's what I meant. And yes, Iqbal, we do use the standard realtor contracts and in every market that we work in.
Back to the multifamily one we were looking at from Steve. He said $70K per year.
Wonderful. And where is this located again? Pull that address up.
Hammond, Indiana.
Okay. That's a low appreciation, low demand market. So $70,000 a year. I'd be thinking you need to be at around 350 grand on those. Steve, 350.
All right.
And the retail value on those, Steve, is about 480.
All righty. I have another one. We're ready to go back to Compin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have one here in Phoenix.
Okay.
Address is 32112.
Hold on. They are downtown Hammond, and he's going through revitalization. He's asking 325. Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Steve. That's a deal. So go lock that sucker up at 325, and you've got a deal there. It makes sense. You can sell that. I think you can sell that for 350 pretty easily. Jason asked, what math formula am I using when I'm coming up with numbers like that just on rents? How can I do it that fast? Well, Jason, the numbers I'm using are depending on the market. So I know that in Hammond, Indiana, it's a low appreciation, low demand market. I'm going to be using the 2% rule, meaning that for every $100,000 I spend, I want to get $2,000 a month in rents. Gross. That's how I get to that number. How much if ours is a 3-1 with a pool and the comp is 3-2 with no pool? So, Chalet, you would adjust for the bathroom. So that's going to be $10,000 for the bathroom because you've lost 10, but you have a pool and they have no pool. So that's an absolute wash. You have no bath with a pool. They have the bath, no pool. That's a straight wash. Cool. What's next?
All righty. Illinois. We're going to go there.
Okay. Since I just left.
Yeah, we're going back virtually.
Go ahead.
12110 South Eggleston Avenue. Eggleston.
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 Oh, there's no info on this one. Dang it. There's no bed, no bath, no square footage. Let me see if I can find something out on Batch. Nope.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I don't have an excuse for this one other than it sucks. There's no data online for it. I don't know why. I don't know why there's no data on this house. Zillow doesn't have data. Batch doesn't have data. If Batch doesn't have data, PropStream doesn't have data. Let's just Google it. Google.
He messaged 3-bed, 1 bath on Redfin.
Hey, there we go. See? 3-bed, 1 bath, 1292 square foot. See, we can work with that. Three-bed, 1 bath, 1292 square foot. See when it was built. Don't know. So it's not going to be super accurate, but we'll do our best. God, this looks like that might be the house. Okay.
That's a cute house.
Yeah, this is what it looks like when they do them up.
I
It's a
love
really,
that.
really cute house, right? You could live there, couldn't you?
Heck yeah.
So I think your ARV on this one is 245, but what do you need to offer on it in order for that to make sense? I'd be at like 70 grand because it's a full gut remodel. You're going to need to do an extensive rehab on this. I think 70,000 is where you got to be on that one.
Alrighty, our next one is in New Jersey. This is a multifamily. The rent is $1,500.
Okay, start over again.
So our next one is in New Jersey. It's going to be a multifamily.
What part of New Jersey?
Garfield City. Do you know where that is off the top of your head?
No, I don't know where it is. So what I have to do is I got to look at the population of Garfield City. I have to look at its distance to a major metro to determine if it's a suburb of a major city in New Jersey, which I'm not sure yet. So let's see. Population of 26,000.
Oh, so he said one side is 1,500 and the other is 1,525.
Got it. So this would be what I would call a 1.5% market. So not low appreciation, low demand, not high appreciation, high demand, not high appreciation, high demand, somewhere in the middle. So he said the rents are what? And how many units?
I'm assuming two. Unit 1 is 1,500 and unit 2 is 1,525.
Okay. I'd be at offering around 240 on that one, Chris. This is what my math came to. Hang up on them. They're crazy.
Hang up on them. Well, what do you say? You always say, all right, I'll talk to you in 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, they're asking 500 grand on the gross rents of 3,000 bucks. I mean, that's basically like LA numbers.
Wow. Wow.
It's gross. It's where is it? Garfield, New Jersey.
Yeah, Garfield City. That's cray.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Georgia next.
Sweet.
9131 Lakeview Drive, Southwest. And that's in Covington.
Okay. I'm going to assume it's a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot. Could be 3-bed, 2-bath, but Zillow doesn't give us the data. It's Zestimate is 184,000. Quick comps show us that number 2 and 3 are viable. 2 sold for 165, 3 sold for 165. Let's see what the map shows us. Right, here's our subject, 2,000 square feet. Smaller lot. We had a 140 next door, but it's from a while back. What is this? New construction-ish Kind of throwing the numbers all over the place with a 300 sale there. I don't want to cross Brown Bridge Road, but I don't feel like I've got any choice. I feel like just based off of size, we want to be higher than 200 grand, but I can't find justification for it. I mean, I can, because we're much larger than this, and that sold for 175 in 2020, but I don't want to be on this side of the road. Multifamily. Ooh, that was going to throw a wrench at us. Here we go. But is this in a different? I think we've left Covington and now we're in Porterdale.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. I'm not. You know, if we don't want to leave a subdivision, what about leaving a dang city? You know, based on that, though, I feel like we're probably so close to that other city with that size. I still think you're at about 190 ARV on that. 190.
We got some good questions over here.
Let's get at them.
Have you ever had an appointment with someone elderly who often forgets what they're talking about? If so, what did you do?
I have. I had a child of theirs get involved in the transaction. We actually didn't end up doing the deal because there was they had to go. The parent needed to get into like a conservatorship with the children, and they needed to be made powers of attorney, and it was all getting hard. So on that specific one, when I first talked to the elderly person, that stopped making sense when we were in negotiations, we just walked away. There was another one that we were actually dealing with the elderly person and their power of attorney at the same time. So they had their child with them, and they monitored what we were talking about. They approved. I would say the best thing to do, Honorio, in this kind of situation is get somebody involved. You need to get somebody involved, have a power of attorney, a relative, a friend, somebody that has some control in their life has to be involved. You absolutely do not want to be negotiating with or doing a deal, making a contract with somebody who's not like got the mental faculties to enter into a contract. It's be a terrible thing, and you just wouldn't want to be involved in that. So have some, like, ask them if they've got somebody in their life that could get involved. And if not, here's going to be something that you're not going to hear from a lot of people to say, but this is what I tell you to do. Abandon the deal altogether. See if you can just help this person as a person. Who cares about the deal, right? Who cares? Who cares? Help this person. If this person is that alone and they're confused and, maybe they just want to talk. That's how I feel about it. I feel like don't do a deal with this person if they're forgetting what they're talking about. Help this person as much as you can possibly help them. That's what the name of the game is going to be all day. That could be your mom, your grandma. you know?
That's so awesome. It's so true. This one, Charlie asked, what site do you use to check out city population and what information are we looking for out of a particular area?
Great question, Charlie Bandana. I just go to Google. I Google it, and then typically Wikipedia will show me city population. I want to see a population of 500,000 or more. That's going to show me that it's more of a metropolitan city, or like a larger city than a smaller one. Not that you can't wholesale in smaller towns or smaller cities, like 100,000. You can wholesale, do deals in there, but once you get into those rural areas where you're like below 100,000 in an area, it's going to be really tough to find buyers. You'll find a lot of sellers. All kinds of people will want to have contract with you, but no one's going to want to buy that shit.
Awesome. You want to comp another one?
Let's go.
All right, we're going to move to Florida.
Okay.
He said, huge historic house, largest in the area, needs a lot of work. Next to railroad tracks, but not sure if they are active. Our address is 1719 Sanford Avenue, and that's in Sanford, Florida.
Wow, 7-bed, 4-bath, 3715 square foot house. This looks like
it's humongous.
Once upon a time, this was like a storybook house, you know?
Yeah.
Huge. Look at that backyard.
Wow.
Big, gorgeous pool.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's like a garage.
Yeah, look, they had a bust in their house. Not everybody has a bust in their house. And either a print version of Starry Night from Van Gogh. That's cool. Did you know what that was, Emily?
Of course I did. Van Gogh?
Just checking. Oh, we got people mad. Who's mad?
Daniel.
Sorry, Daniel. What's the address again? Sorry.
I have it right here. 1719 Sanford Ave.
Okay. So our Zillow estimate on this one is $770. Woo! No doubt, though. It's huge. Okay, it's a historic home sitting on 2.26 acres. It was, oh my God, it's such a custom house. Built in 1908 by an opera star who wintered in Florida while performing at the Sanford Opera House. Gosh.
Wow.
Very close to the St. Johns River. Originally purchased for $800 and about $120,000 on indoor remodeling in 2010. Yeah, it doesn't matter. None of that remodeling is worth anything today. All right. So let's see the listing history. In 2018, they tried to sell it for $500. No go. 2019, $550. No go. 2020, $550. No go. So this house has got a listing history which isn't great, and it's super custom, which you can see. Oh my God, is this the one? And it's the biggest property on the biggest lot in the area too. Almost impossible to value this. Almost impossible to value this. In fact, Emily, you want to know what it's worth? Want to know what the real play is here?
What?
Tear this friggin' thing down. Tear that house down and turn these into individual lots. You can put a lot here. They'd have to redraw this up. You could probably get another.
That could be huge, huh?
I think you could probably get about 8 lots in this little piece.
What?
8 lots where you could put a house up of value at around, let's call it an average of 350,000. Okay. So $350,000 house, you need to buy at 20% of land value. So 70,000. You need to times that by 8, because that's how many lots you could get on there. This piece of land is worth about $560,000 if you tore the house down and subdivided it into individual lots. That's how much a builder would pay for it, with a long inspection period that gave them time to do all of the entitlements and all that. So where would you need to contract this? I would say you'd probably want to contract this at around 490, 480, with an open-ended inspection period that gave you time to get the rezone and the lot entitlements. And then what you could probably sell this thing for about $800,000 once you did the lot split and the rezone.
Wow, that was awesome. That was like a what would Jamil do moment.
That's the play. I've done that before. That exact thing. Like, you look at a house like that and you're like, what the F are you doing here? What are you doing here? There's all these smaller lots, these other houses, and you got this big monstrosity that nobody really cares about anymore. You knock them down. David Gonzalez, send me an email at jamil@astroflipping.com and we'll give you a hand. It is well said. He emailed Orlando Keegley. Yeah, whoever, I think we've got an Orlando Keegley rep in here. Can you hit up It Is Well?
Facebook user says, "Are you seeing me?"
Tell us who you are.
Go ahead and just put your address in and we'll comp it. Oh, this is what It Is Well was saying. Any construction people here from Orlando could use some help figuring costs to do a house that is gutted to studs.
Well, that was Jason Murphy's deal that he sent over. Jason, interesting piece that you just sent in there, brother. That would be the way I'd play that house. Lock that up with a long inspection period. Go and let them know that the inspection period won't end until rezoning and entitlements, until rezone and final entitlements are complete. That gives you an open-ended inspection period. You know what? Even go and offer them the last listed price. What was their last listed price that they had on there?
I can't remember.
Here, I can tell you. $550. Go offer them $550, their last listed price, with an open-ended inspection period and an open-ended closing time. Okay, then what you do is you go find a boutique builder who builds in Sanford, Florida, and there's going to be all kinds of them there, or even the builders who built the houses behind them, behind this big historic property, and see if they're interested in buying it once the rezone and the entitlements are done. They might just want to take it right over from you and do the rezone and the entitlements themselves so they can put their own product in there. The only thing that I can see going wrong is you said the word historic. And if it's historic, it could be protected. And if it's protected, then that thing's got to stay.
Oh.
That's the only curveball. He said they won't go for that if they know it's going to be torn down. They love the house and owe a bunch on it. So the deal that I did, Jason, just so you know, I bought from a man whose wife had just died of cancer, and he built the house for his wife, specifically for her. Then she died. And the house was customized for her. And he was devastated to hear that we had to tear it down. Devastated. But it was the only way for that deal to work. And sometimes it's not about you going in with the attitude of I'm the developer and I'm going to do this, la, la, la. I can, I'm trying to modernize. I'm making this better and awesome. It's like, I'm so sorry. I hate to do this too. It kills me. It pains me. But here's the reality. You've been trying to sell this thing for this price and nothing's happening. And the reason for it is that this doesn't belong here.
Oh, look what Gwendolyn said. This is interesting. If it is historic and has to stay, can its exit strategy be splitting the house into a duplex or triplex?
I'm not sure if use can be changed. If it's historic and it needs to be preserved, then typically use can't be altered either. And if use can't be altered, well, I have seen historic single families become commercial. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe no, it's not. It's in a residential area. Why would anyone drive there to buy wedding dresses? I don't know why that was the business I picked, but why would they? Right? Maybe a duplex. I don't know. It's now you're talking higher density. I don't know, but great thought. Possibly. Jason, lot to chew on this one, brother. Lots to noodle on this one.
That was a good one. We have one sent in that's a fire damage property. I remember we were talking about that a couple weeks ago. If you want to look into that one.
Sure.
Alrighty, it's in Iowa. IA.
Okay.
1895. Street is Tam, Tam, space O, space Shanter. Tam O'Shanter Drive.
Got it. Four bed, 2 bath, 991 square footer on Tam O'Shanter Drive. Fun. Zillow has an estimate of $236,000 on it. Quick comps show us 1, 3, 4, and 5 are viable. Oh, but 2 is the one that looks like us. Come on now. 1's too big. I don't know. I like this 230. Let's see what we got. I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can hit it. You got a 185. But I don't want to cross Greenbrier. That's a single story. Doesn't work.
Oh, for this deal, Liz asked, what would a good offer be considering the amount of fire damage? Gutted with the roof tarped almost all the way across the front.
Land value, I think ARV is 190, 35 grand. That's where I'd be on it. Is that it?
I think that is it. We got one more question if you want to answer one more.
Let's do it.
Jamil, what were your rules again? If it's high appreciation.
So how I do it is it depends on the area. If it's high appreciation, high demand, I'm typically at 70% of ARV for cosmetics. If it's a full gut, I'm at 50% of ARV. In a low appreciation, low demand area, I'm at 50% of ARV for cosmetic remodels, and I'm at 30% of ARV for full guts.
Awesome.
Let's do one more.
One more. All righty. For the last one we just did, she's confirming 230 for the ARV.
No, I think it's 190. Even if you did 230, Liz, most you can go up to is 45 on that lot. I think you're within 35 to 45K. They're either going to realize that this thing has to be torn down and removed and rebuilt or not.
For the appreciation question we just asked, he is asking that includes your fee as well, correct?
Yeah, the typical fee that you can get using my math is 10 grand. The way I run my numbers, brother, that allows you the most leverage. Like that's the highest you can pay. The highest you can pay. So I'm not teaching you how to go out there and buy deep. I'm teaching you how to be competitive. Big difference in today's market. Buying deep is going to be 1 in 100. Being competitive, you can do 100 deals.
Awesome. We'll finish it off in Missouri.
Cool. And we'll finish it off using batch. Go ahead.
8613 Warnall, WORNALL Road in Kansas City. They said, I have it under contract at 131. It's an on-market property.
We got a 1952 built, 1,030 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath. Batch's value estimate is 160. It's got a 5,600 square foot lot. Let's see what it's worth. Oh, can you repeat to me what he said?
Yeah, he said, I have under contract at 131K. And it's an on-market property.
Looks like a deal to me. Legit. Looks like a deal to me. How many days have been on market? 9 days. I think you can sell that. I like it.
Oh yeah, that's what we like to hear.
I like it. Guys, thank you all for coming in. It's been a fun hour with you guys. Emily, enjoy the rest of your night, and appreciate all of you guys for coming in, bringing your addresses, trying to stump me, also giving us an opportunity to look at how to value these deals. It is the foundation of this business. If you can figure out how much something is worth, you can figure out how much to offer and how to make a profit on it. Until the next one, later.
Bye, guys.